Detective Justin Sokolowski, JUSTIN SOKOLOWSKI.
How are you employed?
I am employed as a homicide detective for the City of Milwaukee Police Department.
How long have you been with the department?
Over 8 years.
How long have you been a detective?
Over 4 years now.
And how long have you been assigned to the homicide unit?
Over 3 years.
Were you working in that capacity on April 7th, 2024?
I was.
Were you dispatched to the area of 31st and Galena, specifically the playground that's located there?
Correct. Me and my partner were in the area doing follow-up at the time.
Who's your partner?
Detective Michael Driscoll, MICHAEL DRISCOLL.
What did that follow-up consist of?
We were in the area conducting follow-up, looking for video. When we were flagged down by 2 individuals, indicated that they believed that there were human remains on the railroad tracks in the ravine.
Who were those individuals?
Kiana Moore and Arlinda Garza.
And were you able to identify how, whether they were related to Sade Robinson at all?
Correct. They indicated that they were friends of Sade
Objection,
Robinson.
hearsay.
Any response?
I can withdraw the question.
Okay, next question.
They flagged you down, and what did you do in response to that?
After we were flagged down by those 2 individuals, we began searching the area. The area is between West Galena and West Walnut in the 1600 block between North 31st Street and North 30th Street. There is a park there located at 1650 North 31st Street. That park was previously searched on the prior day, and we were pointed directly to the railroad tracks that were located in the ravine between North 31st and North 30th Street. I entered the park that was located at 1650 North 31st Street, and I went east through the ravine to the railroad tracks.
You referenced searches on prior dates.
Correct.
Did you participate in either of those searches, referencing April 5th and April 6th?
I did not personally know.
So is this the first time that you searched a part of that park?
Correct.
Continue to describe what you did.
So the park is on the edge of a railroad tracks. There's a very steep hill that leads down to the railroad tracks, which is where the 2 individuals indicated that they believed there was additional human remains. Upon going down that hill from the west to the east towards the railroad tracks run from the northeast to the southwest. And I observed what appeared to be a chunk of human bone just west of the railroad tracks and south of the gates that led us to the railroad tracks.
Was there other debris or trash in the area?
Correct. The area is very common to have illegal dumping, which there was multiple garbage bins, other animal debris and things along those nature in that area.
Based on your experience, what did the bone and ligament and tissue appear to be?
So the chunk of human bone that I observed appeared to be a ball joint, and I observed ligaments that were still attached to the ball joint, as well as tissue. What we did was we froze the scene and had the Milwaukee medical examiner come out to the scene and respond to examine the bone.
Did they recover those items?
They did.
Did they get assigned an ME case number 242430?
Yes, they did.
What else did you do?
From there, we conducted an additional search of the immediate area along the railroad tracks to both the northeast and the southwest, looking for additional evidence in the area. There were other animal bones recovered. I believe everything from a dog, deer, and cow were located along those railroad tracks, as well as a bunch of debris and illegal dumping.
No other human bones were found?
Not on that day, no.
Showing you what's been received as Exhibit 191, can you tell us what this is?
That is going to be a Google map overview of the park located at 1650 North 31st Street and the railroad track that I was describing that runs from the northeast to the southwest.
Can you describe on that map where you located the bone that you've just testified to?
I can. So direct the circle directly to the right of foot location, there's a circle. If you follow that line to the white box that says proximal bone location, that is the approximate location where I discovered the hip joint.
All right, I'm going to show you exhibits 182 through 189.
I don't object to these.
Thank you, then I'll receive them into evidence at this point.
Can you look at those and just let me know if you recognize what they are?
I recognize where this is.
What are those exhibits?
The photos start off with the bridge directly to the south of where I discovered the proximal bone, facing northbound to cover that railroad track area, and then a series of photos getting closer and closer and closer to the bone that was discovered.
Permission to publish these?
Go right ahead.
Let's start out with that bridge. Is that bridge also depicted on exhibit 191?
I believe if you move the photo up slightly, you should be able to see the bridge on West Walnut, which will be in the 3000 block of West Walnut.
Does that help?
I believe it's to the south. So you just barely catch the bridge there where you see Google. That is going to be the 3000 block.
Okay, I'm going to show you exhibit 182 here, and then I'm going to go back to 191, okay? Okay, 182. Your testimony is that this is this southern bridge.
I'm mistaken. That's actually going to be the West Walnut Street on the north side, facing to the south.
This one,
Correct.
okay. Exhibit 183, what is that?
An additional view of the bridge facing to the south.
Are you sure that this isn't the park?
I believe that's going to be a view of the park from the south.
Exhibit 184.
That is going to be a view from the bridge facing down to the approximate location where the bone was recovered, and that's going to be the light that was set up due to it becoming dark at the time.
Exhibit 185.
Just a zoomed in version of that same photo.
Exhibit 186.
Another zoomed in photo of that same photo.
These photos are getting darker as we go in sequence here. What time were you flagged down approximately?
The initial time of being flagged down was about approximately 6 p.m. I would say by the time that it was discovered and that we had the crime scene investigator who takes our photos arrived on scene, it was probably about an hour to 2 hours later.
And what is this a photo of, exhibit 186?
That's just going to be the flashlight on the bone that was discovered, as well as you can see a yellow bag on the top right. That is going to be our evidence markers.
Exhibit 187.
Just a closer up photo of that same image.
Okay, and there's an evidence marker number 1 there.
Correct.
Showing you exhibit 188. What is that?
That is going to be a zoomed in photo of crime scene marker number 1 that we used, as well as a scale for reference due to size.
And what about?
So that's going to be
189.
even a further zoomed in version of the bone that was discovered, showing the ligaments and the tissue that was observed on that bone.
You testified at the beginning that you and Detective Driscoll were out canvassing the area for surveillance video.
I believe that was our initial intention to be in the area, yes.
Did you accomplish anything as it relates to that?
Unfortunately, that night we did not recover any video. We were occupied by the bone recovery.
Were you able to search for any surveillance video or not?
There was numerous attempts on multiple days to get video in the area.
You personally?
On a later date, yes.
Okay. But your assignment this night kind of shifted when you were flagged down.
Correct.
Nothing further.
Cross?
How many How many cases involving body parts would you say that MPD is involved in per year?
I would not have an exact quote on that number.
Is it something that you go years without even having to see that situation?
I would say no.
Meaning what? That you, in your 4 years as a detective, you saw something like this every year, or what?
I wouldn't say every year, but there are cases where human remains are discovered in the city of Milwaukee.
Is it important to be thorough?
Yes.
And isn't it true that MPD can preserve a crime scene if they wish to,
Yes.
with tape, right?
Correct.
Or even just by, in the homicide unit, just by stationing officers there, right?
Correct.
And for this park at 31st and Galena, was that ever done?
I think in 2 separate occasions, yes.
On a couple of two different occasions?
Yes.
Meaning that, what were those occasions?
The day that we were flagged down, there was a pretty large crime scene set up to conduct a secondary search, and I believe a day prior it was done as well.
And it appears that as the days are going by, different things are being located. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Meaning that it wasn't thorough the first time?
The area is littered with extensive amounts of illegal dumping, trash bags that are mountains high, tire piles. It is a very common area for illegal dumping. So it is very hard in that area to do search everything.
So you wouldn't say that it was sloppy, you would just say it was difficult?
It was very difficult.
But you would agree that something like this ought to be given the highest degree of attention and care, right?
Yes.
In that once a crime scene is folded up, so to speak, or ended, then the public can have access to it, right?
Correct.
And that happened here in this case a few times, right?
Correct. Upon my arrival on the 7th, there was no crime scene established. It was reestablished once new evidence was located.
Thank you, that's all.
State?
Nothing further.
Thank you, Detective.